In 1847, Placide Cappeau lived in Roquemaure, France, and was known more for his poetry than his church attendance. Yet he was asked by his local parish priest to pen a poem for Christmas Mass. Knowing that the poem obviously had to focus on Christmas and the birth of Jesus in Bethlehem, Cappeau used the Gospel of Luke as his guide. He imagined himself witnessing the birth of the Christ, and from his imagination he wrote Cantique de Noël, a hymn we call O Holy Night. But the story doesn't stop there. Not musically inclined himself, Cappeau turned to his good friend and composer Adolphe Charles Adams for help. Adolphe studied the poem and couldn't help but notice the overtly spiritual lyrics embracing the birth of a Savior. A man of Jewish ancestry, the words represented a holiday he did not celebrate and a man he did not view as the Son of God. Nevertheless, moved by more than friendship, Adolphe diligently went to work marrying an original score with Cappeau's poem. The finished product pleased both the poet and the priest and was performed 3 weeks later at a midnight mass on Christmas Eve, 1847. But the amazing story of the song does not end there. Eventually, the song found its way into various Catholic services. But when Cappeau walked away from the church to join the socialist movement, and it was discovered the music was written by a Jew, the song was quickly denounced by the church and was deemed unfit for church services because of its lack of musical taste and total absence of the spirit of religion. However, as the church tried to bury the song, the French people continued to sing it, and a decade later, a reclusive American writer brought it to a whole new audience halfway around the world. John Sullivan Dwight was a Unitarian minister in Northampton, Massachusetts. For inexplicable reasons, Dwight gradually grew physically ill each time he had to address his congregation. The panic attacks magnified to the point that he often had to lock himself in his home, scared to venture out in public. Gifted and bright, Dwight sought other ways to use his talents and eventually founded Dwight's Journal of Music. For 3 decades, he edited the publication and in 1857, while looking for new material, stumbled upon the French hymn, O Holy Night. Being a minister, he quickly fell in love with the song, but he saw something else in the song that moved him. An ardent abolitionist, Dwight strongly identified with the lines, "Truly he taught us to love one another. His law is love and his gospel is peace. Chains he shall break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease." The text supported Dwight's own view of slavery. The writer believed that Christ came to free all men, and in this song, all men would be confronted with the fact. Keeping the original meaning intact, Dwight translated the lyrics into a hauntingly beautiful English text. Published in his magazine and in several songbooks of the period, O Holy Night quickly found favor in America, especially in the North during the Civil War. Since that first rendition at a small Christmas Mass in 1847, O Holy Night has been sung millions of times in churches in every corner of the world. A YouTube search for the song yields 1,888,000 results and is one of the entertainment industry's most recorded and played spiritual songs. This incredible work, requested by a forgotten parish priest, written by a poet who would later split from the church, given soaring music by a Jewish composer, and brought to America to serve as much as a tool to spotlight the sinful nature of slavery as tell the story of the birth of a Savior, has grown to become one of the most beautiful, inspired pieces of music ever created.